All right. Well, we'll just start a little bit for, the audience who is not familiar with the XFL or maybe just heard the name. How would you describe to them what this is?
Well, what makes it exciting is that it's an opportunity, is how I would best describe it. It's an opportunity for players that just didn't get that look in the NFL that perhaps they wanted. The Rock or Dwayne Johnson and one of the owners of the league, and Danny Garcia, the chairwoman, the thing they like to model the league around is player 54. Well, what that means is in the NFL, there's a 53-man roster. Player 54 gets left out. And so this is an opportunity for a bunch of player 54s to get that opportunity to put more competitive football on tape and continue their NFL dream. I know the game I'm calling Sunday, 3 Eastern on ABC, one of the quarterbacks is A.J. McCarron. I mean, the guy won 3 national championships at Alabama, but he had a torn ACL and got cut. Jack Cohn, he was a quarterback at Wisconsin and Notre Dame. I mean, there's so many stories out there of players that just wanted that opportunity, and I'm excited that the XFL gets to give it to them.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because one thing I was going to ask you about are some of the players you're most looking forward to, seeing. I know for me, AJ McCarron rings a bell for me. I'm a Steelers fan. He was a former Bengal.
Yeah.
I know former Steeler Martavis Bryant, I believe,
Yep.
is on a team, a guy who's really talented. Obviously, some things happened, so he's getting another shot. So who are some of the players you are most looking forward to seeing?
Yeah, that's a couple of them right there. Martavis Bryant, remember Clemson? I mean, this guy was a receiver that you thought was going to be a bona fide every NFL Sunday type player, and for whatever reason, it didn't work out. I know in my game tomorrow, another guy I'm looking forward to is Kalen Ballage, former running back at my alma mater, Arizona State, but he was a guy that was slotted to take over the starting running back job for the Miami Dolphins, and then just ran into some issues, and he wasn't able to string it all together. His head coach is Hines Ward, Pittsburgh Steelers great, and as you know. And so think about that for a minute. Think about if you're one of these players that for whatever reason it didn't work out in the NFL, and now you get an opportunity in the XFL owned by Dwayne Johnson, Danny Garcia, and your head coach is Hines Ward. I mean, another one of the coaches is Rod Woodson, another Steeler great that's head coach of the Vegas Vipers. Like, these are guys that Rod, a Hall of Famer, Hines, a Steelers Hall of Famer. There are some Bob Stoops, Wade Phillips. There are some really good coaches to help some of these players hopefully get that opportunity to get another shot at the NFL.
Yeah, and I correct me if I'm wrong, but this could be an opportunity for coaches as well. I know Hines Ward has done kind of some stuff like I don't know if the coaching intern is the right term, but things like that. So is this kind of also a launching pad for maybe some other coaches who maybe want to make their way into the league?
Yeah, and it's a good question because a guy like Wade Phillips, no. Wade Phillips has won a Super Bowl. He's one of the great defensive minds we've had in the NFL ever. And so he just likes football, loves football, and just wants to coach. Bob Stoops is another one. National championship at Alabama. National championship at Oklahoma. And he just loves football. And he just wanted to get back into football in an opportunity to not have to deal with the recruiting and everything in between. But yeah, maybe for a guy like Hines Ward, he wants to prove that he can be a head coach. Maybe a guy like Anthony Becht, who's head coach of St. Louis. I mean, Jim Haslett, he's been there, done that. He's a head coach up in Seattle. But there's a lot of guys that are looking at this. Terrell Buckley down in Orlando was a phenomenal college football player and had a really nice NFL career. Reggie Barlow up in D.C. These are people with opportunities and you hit on it, not only the players, but to show that you can lead a locker room of men. I mean, it really is about opportunity. And if people embrace the football aspect of it and embrace the access that we're going to have during our broadcast, it really is going to be a fun product.
Yeah, I love that. The opportunity for, players to show what they can do, and then opportunities for people to just get back in the game and just be there. Another question I had was, it seemed like the XFL had a lot of momentum behind it. A lot of fans were really, catching on and really enjoying it before it ultimately shut down in 2020. Do you feel like that'll kind of help this time around, that people kind of had that interest in it? And do you feel like that'll be even more this time as things actually hopefully get to play out even longer? Because it seemed like people were really they were liking it.
Yeah, the numbers were good. And some of these cities, I know St. Louis is one of the great cities, and San Antonio's a great sports town anyway. But you look at some of these cities that are out there that are really embrace this in the individual markets, but then the fan as a whole. Here's what I know to be true. One, I know people love football. That's number one. And so if you love football, then you're just going to be, I call it you're just going to be a looky-loo just to tune in to see what's happening. And then you're going to go, oh, wait a second. I'm a Notre Dame fan. Jack Cohn's the starting quarterback for this. I'm going to stay and watch. I'm an Alabama fan. AJ McCarron's playing. Yeah, I'm in. But then the other thing I know to be true, people love sports betting. And so if you combine football, which who doesn't love it, and sports betting, which is going to be a very big part of the XFL broadcast, then you're kind of in, because you're like, well, wait a second. People told me football was over last week with the Super Bowl. Well, no, the following weekend, you have more football and more opportunities for sports betting. So I think there is going to be a chance for people to turn it on, recognize the names of not only some of the players, but recognize some of the names of the coaches. I think it's going to be a perfect storm.
Yeah. How would you kind of describe the differences between what people are used to watching, with the NFL and what they're going to get with the XFL?
The access is going to be unparalleled to anything anyone has ever seen in a football game broadcast, really in a sports broadcast. We're going to take you inside the locker room live for the pregame speeches before they run out. We've got multiple players mic'd up on each side of the ball, which we will bring that to you live during the broadcast. We've got a direct feed to not only the head coach's headset, but the offensive and defensive coordinator's headset, to where I won't talk for 3 to 5 minutes. All you're going to hear is the offensive coordinator calling in the ball play. You'll hear the quarterback speaking with him. Then you'll hear the defensive coordinator calling in the ball play. And then the play is going to happen. After touchdowns or big plays, our reporters, Tiffany Blackman and Eric McClain, they'll be down on the sidelines. They're just going to go right up to a player on the bench and ask them about the touchdown pass, ask them about the sack, ask them about the interception. And so the term that I keep using, because I think it describes it well, it's going to be so invasive to where you're going to feel like you're in on it. Halftime, we'll go in and you're going to hear halftime adjustments. I mean, there isn't anything that's off limits in this league. And I think that's what makes it so unique, part one. And part two, if other league commissioners are watching, if the NFL's paying attention, if the SEC, Big 10, Big 12, they're like, well, wait a second, that was pretty cool. We should probably look into that. You're really on the ground floor of what's going to be something fun.
Yeah, I think that's a good point too, because one thing I've noticed just as a fan myself, one thing I loved about like the Pro Bowl games, for instance, when the players and coaches, people were mic'd up, you're more engaged because you can, one, get a feel for the player's personality. And like you said, you like to feel like you're in on it. And there's just something that makes it that much more intriguing when you have that access. Do you think that was kind of the thought process going into, trying to provide that to fans?
Right. Yes. Yes and yes, because we had touched on it a second ago. Super Bowl's over. The NFL's done. College football has been done since January 9th or 10th. Those are the two known entities in the world of football. So how are we going to attract the football audience? Well, the best way to do that is give them something they've never seen. And that's how you do it. You bring people in to an offensive coordinator calling a play, and then Joey Galloway, my guy in the booth with me, he'll tell you what it means. He'll be able to break that down for you. We're going to make the football fans smarter. We're going to hear directly from a quarterback after he throws an interception and hear the mindset of a guy that just made a mistake. Conversely, the guy that catches a touchdown pass. So really, here's how we look at it. And I was talking to my producer about it today. We are going into every single game broadcast looking to take a chance on something that we wouldn't typically do in a typical college football broadcast. I call Thursday Night College Football with Louis Riddick. And those are, you're calling college football. You're not taking too many chances because of things that have been put in place in a traditional broadcast. Well, that's what this is going to make this fun. If we think we're going to try it, see what happens. And the fan, I think, will benefit greatly from that.
Yeah, and for you personally, I mean, how exciting is that to be able to do something so different outside of the norms of what you're used to doing, like in college football? I mean, some of the stuff, the access you wouldn't even
Yeah,
dream of having in college football. So how excited are you personally for this kind of this new way of doing things? That's got to be exciting for you, right?
it is. And I keep using the term ground floor. I know this is, if you think about it, the third iteration of this league, going way back to the early 2000s. And then they brought it back, and then COVID shut it down. And this has been 2 years in the making. So this is really another opportunity for it to get off the ground floor with new ownership. And to be at the beginning of that, to see how it all takes. I'm a sucker for a good story, always have been. And so when I know what some of these players have been through, be it injury. I mean, there's a lot of players that'll tell you straight up they made bad choices in life when they got their opportunity in the NFL, and that's why they're not in it. Well, now they get another opportunity. So you combine the storytelling of it, which I love to do anyway, then to just be up in the booth on ABC and be there with the viewer. Listen, you're going to see it the first time I see it. You're going to hear it the first time I hear it. So to be able to be in on that and try to send it home in a package that's really never been seen. It's exciting. I go through football season, postseason depression every year. So now this kind of scratches that itch for a couple of months, and to hopefully be a part of something that people talk about as innovative, entertaining, and something that potentially launched a new idea with the NFL or college football.
For sure. What are you most looking forward to about this upcoming XFL season?
I think that the unexpected. I mean, sports is the last bastion of true reality TV, because you go into a game and an event not knowing what the outcome is going to be. And so to not know that, to not know how it's going to go, but know it's going to be entertaining along the way, I think that's what I'm most excited about. I can't wait to see how this thing unfolds. I can't wait to see how some of these players relish and take advantage of this national stage. If you're an NFL GM or player personnel guy and you need to find a couple of players to fill your roster, well, you're watching. So now here's an opportunity. It's almost going to be, we were joking around the other day, you're almost going to be like a proud parent if one of the players of a game that you called, you see in May sign a contract with an NFL team, because you know that they made the most of the opportunity that you were also a part of.
Yeah, I guess my last question for you is if you could kind of briefly summarize what fans can expect to see this season, how would you describe that?
Everything. They're going to see everything. Again, nothing's off limits. The fan that turns it on, if you ever wanted to hear what was going on, the best part about it, I left this one out. I do want to get this one in. We have Dean Blandino, who's going to be out in California. He's our rules expert. Yeah, fans always wonder, well, what's going on when a coach challenges what's going on? What are they talking about? Well, guess what? In the XFL, you're going to hear every second of every detail of every challenge. So you will hear the replay booth going frame by frame by frame on the penalty that's being challenged. You will hear them talk through that. Then you'll hear Dean get in the referee's ear and say, call stands, calls upheld, calls reversed. And then after that, guess what happens? I get to talk directly to Dean and ask him what led to that decision. And so if fans are just curious about the penalty process, we'll have it for you. We'll have all of it. So expect anything and everything, because again, nothing's off limits.
Yeah, I think fans will definitely love that, especially
They should.
if they're watching the NFL. They are longing for some explanations and wondering how that thought process
Exactly, especially coming off that call in the Super Bowl. I think it's as timely as ever. Let's have a full transparent process, and I think that's the beautiful thing about this. You can't create conspiracy theories if you see everything happen in front of you. And so we hope that, maybe we can be the foundation of a change of how that process goes on in the Big Ten or the Pac-12 or the NFL or the SEC. And I think that's the exciting part.
Absolutely. Well, I know I'm looking forward to this season. I think it'll be really fun, and it's awesome that we get to show it on our network. Anything else you want people to know before we get out of here?
Yeah, watch every week. and enjoy it. It ends first week of May, second week of May. And so it gets you through the rest of the winter. If you live in a state where it's cold, well, lucky you get more football, and embrace the opportunity for these players. And I know there's Iowa State and Iowa players all over these rosters. So there's opportunities for some local stories to come in and just enjoy what it's going to be. Because if you take out, because I know a lot of people say, why is it spring football? Why? Oh, it's different. I get it. But you're going to get inside to see what it's all about. I think if people give it a chance, they're going to absolutely love it.
I think so too. Well, thank you again for taking some time to chat with me. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Like I said, looking forward to it.
All right. Have a good weekend.
All right, you too.